listen, never in my life associated the word boring with baseball.
We know what's up.
Me? Yeah. Famous? Yeah.
And I'm like giddy over there smiling like, we're about to win this shit.
Did everyone give you crap? Give me a good host story.
I'm not picking it up.
We both love the game.
We talk about it every day.
Get on baseball.
Having some popcorn, you're fooling around your phone.
I'd have to wait in line for 3 hours.
Hang on, because it's about to be a wild ride.
There's nobody I'd rather have on the podcast right now than Julian McWilliams of CBS Sports.
That's right. Get it right.
What? How did I not get it right? I always get it right.
I was just affirming the fact that you just got it right.
Yeah. Listen, I'm shot out of a cannon right now.
Me too. Ooh.
I had a lot of oohs. By the way, did you listen to the Charlie Morton podcast? One of your favorites?
He's great, isn't he?
He's the best. He's the best. Awesome. There's a lot of oohs. I get a lot of oohs in there.
He's awesome. I love him.
Yeah.
My favorite.
If we get a power rank your top 5 guys right now who are playing to interview, who are they?
Ooh. Charlie Morton.
Oh, is that number 1? Or you're not ranking?
No order.
All right.
So I don't want to offend anybody, especially this guy.
All right.
Tommy Pham.
Charlie Morton, Tommy Pham.
I gotta go with this guy. It's random. He's random, but he's such a nice guy.
I know. I know who you're gonna say. Go ahead.
Your guy.
Who?
Sogi.
Oh. Sogard. Yeah, I told you he's a nice guy.
Sorry, he held the door for me, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
But again,
I'm sorry I ever said he ducked.
Have you ever? Yeah, you tweeted that he ducked playing first base. But have you ever even interviewed him? I'm asking people. He's a nice guy, but you've never interviewed him.
Listen, he held the door for me. I interviewed him. That counts.
Here's another lesson that journalists can be bought off. By the way, it is so true. I don't understand how athletes don't see this, how baseball players don't see this. David Ortiz told me once that you got to start building your brand while you're playing, and all you need to do, hold the door for writers, be nice to writers, be respectful to writers. That's it. And then you're on your way. You're going to buy yourself so much more time when you suck. Right? I'm not saying that. So I'm not talking about Segura. I'm talking about, I've seen it so much where guys get so much grace from the media if they're perceived as one of the good guys. It's just a fact. Right?
100%. 100%. I mean, that's how we base all our judgment, I think. We're all human, right?
Yep.
They don't understand we're in the labor business too. We're pro labor as well as much as they are.
Like you mean childbirth?
No, not that.
All right.
You might need your mind for that one.
Yeah,
I'm not the child. I'm not on the childbirth beat.
Yeah.
Then I guess I would say my final two are Ramon Laureano and Matt Olson.
Okay.
Those are my guys. I love those guys.
All right. From your A's days. So Sogard sneaks in there. Morton, Pham, Sogard.
Sogard only because he held the door.
Hey, listen, I didn't ask you why. And then Olson. Who's on the outside looking in? Who's number 6?
The outside looking in.
Another one of your A's guys.
No.
Austin Riley.
I don't even know. Ooh, I like Austin Riley. Michael Harris Jr.
Oh, Michael Harris Jr.
Love that guy.
All right, before we get to what I want to talk about, what stories have you written? What stories are you writing?
Ooh,
I'm
like
here.
Tillo.
What? The what?
Tillo always asks me, what stories have you written this month?
No, I know what stories. I can tell you. You wrote a story on Michael Harris.
Yeah, I did.
Right. I read you CBS Sports.
Ooh,
your brand has never been hotter.
Yeah, I've written one on Michael Harris, and then I have one coming out on Mookie Betts. I got Mookie on Friday. He was excellent. Talking about moving to shortstop. and it was like the anti-Devers. Like if I read you the quote, it's like I'm gonna pick this quote up later on in the show. Um, what he said. It's like I moved here because we need to sign guys. Like I'm trying to make us better. This is a position I don't want to play, but it's a position I have to play right now, so to speak, and I'm going to master it. Gosh, it was so refreshing to be around a winning culture, Rob.
Well,
So
I,
refreshing.
I want to get to that. I want to get to basically one of the things I want to talk about because you were boots in the ground for the Dodgers Mets series.
Oh,
It made me start thinking about not only the Dodgers, but if we had to sit here right now and say, what is the team that you want to hang your hat on? This is the team that is going to win. But don't answer that yet.
no.
I think that Mookie thing, like I applaud him, but here's the reality, Julian, is that we've sort of beaten ourselves down into the ground with this Devers thing where it's just where you're just at this point you're just like whatever, man, like whatever. But everybody from the outside looking in, it I think that 98% of the players in baseball would say exactly what Mookie Betts said. I
Yeah,
want to win. I'll move positions. I'll do whatever because I want to win. Especially, by the way, a guy like Mookie who's signed there for eternity, which is like he's got nothing else to, the motivation isn't to get a new contract, so yeah.
but the motivation I think for him could be to sort of, you know, get the count
Legacy.
more, the legacy. And let's just call it what it is. Playing shortstop is going to take away from some of the hits he has, right? I mean, your legs are dead. You're
Yeah.
playing shortstop. You're engaged in every pitch. I think he even said, he's like, I like playing shortstop because I'm not in the outfield thinking about my swing. And I found that interesting, but it's also twofold. Yeah, you're not thinking about your swing, but then you're thinking about your legs at the plate, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot that goes into playing shortstop, and more power to him. Like there's no way first base would impact. I don't want to talk about it. Let's just move
Yeah.
on.
I don't either.
Keep going.
All right. Well, so we got the Michael Harris story. Excellent story. You got a story coming out about Mookie Betts. Excellent job. Again, your brand has never been hotter.
Ooh,
Uh, but I was thinking about the Dodgers and again thinking about how what teams we should say. There it is. That's the team. That's the team that I feel like they got it going on. And maybe they're not number one in the power rankings, but you just feel it. And I have been anxious not only to get your take on everything on all your travels, but being
okay.
around the Dodgers. People are underrating like this season that the Dodgers are having. It's kind of nuts, right? You go
Yeah.
into it with the over under win total of 104 and a half, and you get this juggernaut, and you have five closers, and you have five aces, and you have Mookie and Otani and Freeman and all these guys. Like once again, you have it all. But now all of a sudden you have half of that
Hmm.
injuries upon injuries upon injuries upon injuries, and you're still sitting there and you're still beating the brakes off everybody. Tell me, being around that team, the vibe that you get, how in the F are they doing this?
You know what? And I hate to make cross sports comparisons, but it just seems like the early Miami Heat days, the early Golden State days, where it's like, dude, we don't care where we are in the standings as long as we're in the playoffs. We have a chance to beat anybody. And I feel like that because one, I think I read something, they have 14 pitchers that are on the IL.
Yeah,
Six of them are starters. So like
that's amazing.
it's amazing. And they figure out ways to go ahead and just win, right? And you're looking at their infield. You have a guy, Mookie Betts, like, yeah, he's playing shortstop, but like I wouldn't say he's the greatest shortstop. He's a guy he puts all into to try to be that, but I don't think he's reached that. But the fact that Chris Woodrow said something good. He's like, you never see people come from like, you never see people come to the position at 32. You see them leaving the position.
Yeah.
Right? And so for him to be at that position, to be engaged in every pitch and say, you know what? I may have to give him a couple at bats just for us to save a couple of runs, because that's what my team entrusts me to do. It's a breath of fresh air to be around that, right? And perhaps if I didn't cover them every day, if I cover them every day, it would probably be different. But coming from what I've come from, and I sound like a kid that's like only eating government cheese, and it's like, ooh, there's cheddar over here. Ooh, you got crusted cheese. Ooh, you're trying to tell me you got provolone? Like, that's what it feels like right now. Whenever I go somewhere else, even with the Mets stuff that's going on, right? Even with their PR guy shagging, and that's a whole nother thing. And I'm calling it out. That's ridiculous. I'll say it was that's utterly ridiculous. Like the Mets, you guys gotta do something about it. He's not on the team, dog. You gotta do something about that. My man Allen, whatever his name is, I'll tell you that to your face. It is not cool that you're shagging out there. You're not even really that good at it. Okay? So, but I say that all to say, even when looking over there and seeing Carlos 2.0, I am saying they have their shit together. Why is it that the team that I used to cover?
Well, forget about.
I don't even want to bring up the team.
Don't bring. But here's the
they
thing:
have their stuff together.
Julian.
The Yankees have their stuff together.
Yeah, but
people have their stuff together.
Right?
Why am I surrounded by stuff that doesn't have their stuff together? Why is it always leaking? Why is the pot always leaking? Why is the furnace always leaking? Why is
you know who else is saying this? People
Me.
in Toronto, people in Tampa, people in Baltimore, people in probably Houston, people in Texas, like, and
we've been saying it. Okay.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But that's what it's crazy. It's like it's why it's a good point by you. Why can some of these teams have all their crap together, and these other teams who have talent and who have spent money, they don't have their crap together? And you just said two of them, like Dodgers and the Mets. Like,
I mean, and there's still some rot in the Mets. Like, you still smell a little. Like,
yeah.
okay, there's still some.
You want to use another cheese analogy?
It's still some Wilpon left. It's like it's still some of that left. But you see them getting their stuff together, and you look across. I mean, the Yankees too. Like they're always have their. But getting back to the Dodgers, no, it's just talent overload.
Hey, let me ask you this about the Dodgers? It's a very good question by me. Is Mookie Betts the most important player on the
Yes.
Dodgers? Ooh.
Yes, absolutely. Because again, they didn't win anything till Mookie got there, and he's everything that the Red Sox are hoping that, and I know he's hurt, that Bregman could be. Hey, bringing in this winning culture, being a guy that's been there, done that, and obviously Mookie to a higher scale because Mookie's a better player than Alex Bregman, but absolutely, I mean, you're bringing a guy from playing right field to shortstop, like that. Ohtani, he as great as he is, if you look at throughout the seasons, he's probably averaged 10, 11 starts per year. Mookie's playing shortstop every day. Like, and then being asked to go hit second. Like that's absurd at 32 years old. At 32 years old. This is absurd. I don't even care if it works out or not. The fact, because I've seen stuff that hasn't worked out at shortstop in my years of covering this game with the with the homegrown nine, whatever you call it. I've seen some shortstops, right? I don't need to get to list of names. If it comes at the top of your head, that's who I'm talking about, right? So I've seen some quote unquote shortstops. I'm not saying he's a shortstop, but the fact that he can do it so his team can survive is absurd to me at the age he's doing it. He's the most important player to that club.
Okay. Number one, I always go back to when Mookie first got to the Dodgers, and he was, and Joe had said this, and he, because Joe will say like, he's, there's no filter, and he's like, yeah, Mookie's great, everything else, but he got in front of the team that first spring training and tried to give a speech, and it was cringy. Cringy was the word, right? Mm-hmm. But the point is that Mookie has come so far to the point where you can say that about him. And part of it is doing anything for the team. Part of it is being good. But it's the whole package. I mean, so this is the thing. Not only is he the most important player for the Dodgers, we tie ourselves not into knots doing O'Neill Cruz hitting 150 miles an hour line drives. We tie ourselves into knots saying, Tani's this or Tani's that. We tie ourselves into knots saying Paul Skeens is just a unicorn. Mookie Betts is the most, I'll just say it, he's the most important player in Major League Baseball.
Listen, I'm with you because who can do that? Ohtani can't do that. Respectfully, Ohtani can't even freaking pitch. All right.
Wait, and he's not, it's not like, with all due respect to Mike Trout and these Ronald Acuna Jr. and everything else, Mookie still plays. He's still playing.
He's still on the field and he's playing. And you know what? He's defeating the odds of what people thought. Oh, he'd break down when he turns 30. Right? He's small. He'd break down. Some people are just athletic freaks. And he fits into that category. I mean, the fact, and look, and you talk about, first guy out, last guy to leave. That Friday, when I saw him and I said, "What's up, man?" He's like, "Oh, working, continues working." And Mookie can sometimes become bored by baseball because he's just so good at it.
Also mostly talking about it, I think.
Talking about it, fine.
Yeah.
But this is something that he's like, I have to master this. And I'm like, why? He said, because I failed at it. And I think our friend Alex Spears said it's the first thing he's ever failed at in baseball. And then Chris Woodrow said, well, yeah, you can say he failed at it, but he's never really tried it. So you can't really say he's failed at it after just a year saying he's failed at it. Which is
what are you talking about, playing shortstop?
Playing shortstop.
Yeah.
But it was just the way he was zeroed in on that Friday. Like, it was like, this dude, okay, I see why he's so good. And it's doing something he doesn't necessarily want to do. That's putting miles on your legs, man. Like, look at Trevor Story right now. Like, look at Carlos Correa. Like, the shortstop, I compare it to like the running back position now. Where it's like you have this short span to be great. And you better fit into that short span because once you get to 31, 32, 33 years old, you might just be seen as a defender and not an offensive player because your legs are gone.
Hey, let me ask you this. What was the Dodgers clubhouse like? I was around that clubhouse last year. And the thing that struck me is their bullpen was built on a lot of veteran guys, which I love because everyone just sort of knew their deal. I don't know if you were around enough to get a vibe.
Yeah, it's tough in New York, Rob, because those guys, they hide in New York. Like, they know they're all there with their families. However, I will say this, that the vibe in there for me seemed like there wasn't the tension of, like, say, like a Red Sox clubhouse, where it's just like, hey, you're stacking days. This is a part of whatever we're going through. Like, Ohtani, yeah, he's the Beatles. Like, Mookie, yeah, like he's more self-aware now. I think you have guys that are just comfortable in their own skin of who they are. You have like a lot of adults in the room.
Yeah, which is huge. Is there a team, do you think, like, so if you put the Dodgers, if you said right now the team that you think is going to win the World Series, I don't want to put words in your mouth. I don't want to put different varieties of cheese in your mouth.
Ooh. I still say them. I mean, I picked the Braves. I still say the Braves.
Ooh, really?
I think they figure. I think Acuna's the jumper cables that they need, man.
That's TM, copyrighted jumper cables. I mean, so you have Strider coming back, doing his thing.
I feel like Olsen's gonna get hot. I just feel like I just feel that way. I still question the Dodgers pitching and if they'll ever get healthy enough. right? I mean, 6 guys that are stars on the IL and trying to
But
win
you
them.
said it. You said it, Julian. It is
But they're
incredible.
adults.
But they're adults. But it is incredible how. And this is what I come back to. How I'm just sort of in awe of the Dodgers because yeah, we all know they're hurt. Yeah, we all know they're playing the long game. But while they're playing the long game, they're still winning almost as much, if not more, than everybody else. It's like, yeah, we're just to let you know, we're really paying attention just to October.
Yeah,
But
that's it.
why they're doing it, you have these other teams that are spinning their wheels and agonizing over every single day and can't win games, and the Dodgers, and I get it. They paid a lot of money, but the money they're paying isn't for, this is my point. It's not for the guys that you're seeing right now. Some of it is, but a lot of it isn't. It's filling the gaps, and I am giving them enormous amount of credit because, and Dave Roberts is probably a big part of this, and the confidence of being the Dodgers and everything else is a part of it as well. They just win, and they're just winning and winning and winning. Because Julian, you said, oh well, they just want to get to the finish line. But there's a difference between just getting the finish line as the third wild card and winning the maybe the best division in baseball.
Yeah.
And that's what they're going to do without a million guys.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, for sure. And if you look at that roster, top to bottom, right? Like you forget, like you almost like it's like it's almost like a kid who gets too much on Christmas Day, where it's like, oh, there's a present behind the tree over there too. Oh, there's that. Oh, Michael Conforto's on this team. Oh, Blake Snell's on injured list piece. Oh, there's Tyler Glasnow. I know he's an injured list, but he's coming back. Like, there's just there's just so much when you look at this team and you're looking at a regular game saying this isn't even all their horses. And again, it's like it's like the load management of baseball, but they're on the IL.
Let me. I just thought of this. Okay, the guys. Everyone talks about the Dodgers offseason. So far they've had a terrible offseason. Taylor Scott, Kirby Yates, Blake Snell, Sasaki. Okay, who am I forgetting?
Conforto.
Okay,
Good.
yeah, not good. And conversely, who had a really good offseason? The team that we mentioned, the Red Sox. You go down that list of guys, they got Crochet. I know Bregman's hurt. Justin Wilson's been really good. Chapman's been really good. Narvaez might win Rookie of the Year. Like, that's good. But the reason I bring this up is because there's more to like this. The Dodgers have the secret sauce that goes beyond just paying the money. 100%. They do.
100%. 100%. They have scouting, they have data, they have information, they have coaching, they have development. I do question why all their guys get injured, similar to the Red Sox, and that's in this conversation for another day. However, they have veterans who've been there. Kershaw, just like giving them 4 1/3 in the regular season. Like you can tell he's cooked. He doesn't have anything. He's cooked.
Yeah.
But it's Clayton freaking Kershaw, right? And there's not many organizations that have that luxury. And I'm not sure if the Red Sox or any team for that matter really cares about that luxury of having that guy who can just sit there and talk to guys like a Charlie Morton.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to Charlie after the podcast a little bit about the dynamic with the guys looking at the phones. That's another thing that I didn't see when I was around the Dodgers last year compared to other teams. I didn't see a lot of that. And maybe it was, I don't know.
No.
But, and I think that comes with security, like you said, Kershaw, of understanding, like, hey, we're talking baseball. It's all right to talk to each other. We don't have to bury ourselves in the phone, whatever it is. And another team that I think is like that. And they're really good. They could be perceived. They're probably the number one team in a lot of power rankings right now are the Phillies. I keep saying that. The Phillies, like people always sleep on the Phillies. They slept on the Phillies earlier this year because they got off to a little bit of a slow start. But all the things that we're talking about in a much different way, the Phillies are that. Except, their bullpen's thin, and I don't know why the Phillies don't get the respect, honestly.
I think a lot of it has to do with them just like not like, flaming out sort of in the playoffs. But I mean, if you're talking about a team that's consistently doing it, that's what matters to me too. Is like I know we talk about like the sort of overkill, like the Yankees making the playoffs every year, but like that means something. And it's so hard to win in this league. Exhibit A is the team that I used to cover. I think that like this is the last struggle. Oh, really?
But you know what? You raise a good point. Here's the thing that teams are missing that they don't understand. You have to understand how to win. You have to understand how to win, and that does carry over from year to year to year to year. We mentioned a bunch of these teams. We've said it already. That they're trying to put the right talent there. The Blue Jays, a lot of these teams, they're okay, but they're still like saying, we think if this happens and we think if that happens, we can win. These teams like the Phillies and the Dodgers, they already know. This is how you win. This is how you get through a season. This is it. You got to go through a rough patch. Okay, whatever. This is how you do it. And there's so many teams out there, and some of these teams who have won in the last 5 years, but they've had to turn over their roster, so they have guys that don't know how to win.
Yeah. Look, I mean, Rob, I know people might hate me for saying this, but I look at like even the Yankees, right? Like they lost their best pitcher, Garrett Cole, out for the season. And then you have Max Fried, who, if Scuba's not doing what he's doing, he's a Cy Young winner. And then you could bring in the fact of Carlos Rodon. He hasn't given more than 4 hits in at least. He's only given 4 hits in like one of his 10 starts. He hasn't given more than 4 hits in one of his freaking 10 starts. And so what I'm thinking is, why can the Yankees lose Judge for 2 months to whatever they lost him to, right? In the past. I know he had injury history in the past. He's been relatively healthy as of late, but they've lost him for a significant period in the past. And how do they remain successful? How is it the Dodgers can lose six of their starters and remain successful? How is it that the Mets can lose half of their rotation and fill it in and still be successful? Whereas the team from Boston loses their first baseman and third baseman. I mean, the first baseman, third baseman. Their starter all of a sudden doesn't know how to pitch anymore, Tanner Houck. And another guy, Byron Bale, just keeps suddenly just getting worse and worse and worse. And the sky is falling every single time. And for me, it comes back to, you know what? Because every 5 days, the Dodgers at least have somebody that they can rely on that's depth. The Yankees have somebody that rely on that's not Cole. The Mets can have somebody that rely on that's not Manaea, Montas. So now they have going with Clay. And I don't know how long it lasts. But what I do know is that it's working. What I do know is that a team like the Twins, it's working. What I do know is that a team that's significantly worse offensively last year than the Red Sox are right now and the Seattle Mariners, they had a chance to make the playoffs last year. Why? Because of their pitching and defense. We don't see that with this local 9 team anymore.
Well, so every team has their strength.
And by the way,
yeah,
Marcelo Meyer and Roman Anthony, God bless them. I think they're gonna have really good careers. But if you're depending on them to be your savior, then you already lost.
No, but again, this is why Bregman was so important to them. It's having someone in there who knows what it's like to win. Knows what it's like to win. Because and that's very, very important. If you can't hang your hat on this part of a team that is just going to dominate and they're going to carry you to win streaks, then you have to have the people say, hey, you know what? we lose today, we're gonna win tomorrow. That's the Dodgers. I would love to see what their longest losing streak is. Probably not very long, right? It's you're gonna figure out a way to do it. And you talk about the Twins. What's remarkable about the Twins, that 13 game winning streak, Julian, is that you don't their offense in that 13 game winning streak wasn't that good. It wasn't that their pitching, their starters was pretty good. Their bullpen was unbelievably good, but still their offense wasn't that good. But what they saw, what they started believing was this is how we win. This is how you do it. We're going to win. If it's close, we're going to win. And there's too many teams now. You mentioned the Red Sox. I keep coming back to the Blue Jays. The Angels are sort of they've gotten back in the mix. They're up and down. The Royals, I thought, they're hanging in there, but I thought they would be even better than they are right now.
Yeah.
You have a bunch of teams in the National League Central sort of that mind. But it's just like that you're going to win. And don't you think that the Twins now, where they aren't the Dodgers, they don't have the track record, but because they strung this together now, if it's going to be a close game, they feel they're going to win. I know teams that was a close game, including the one that we talked about before, the Red Sox, they've lost 14 one-run games.
It's because they don't know who they are. And I think that's at the fulcrum of the issue here, is that we've talked about
first of all, fulcrum, excellent work, good job. Look at you, national baseball writer. Go ahead.
That's it at the center of their issues, I think, is that teams know what they're good at, right? The Mariners know that they'll pitch. The Twins know that they'll pitch. The Twins know that they'll pitch and play defense. The Mariners know that they'll pitch and play defense. The Dodgers know they just have talent, right? And sometimes it's just talent wins. We have more talent than you. And no matter what, we're going to win. The Red Sox and the teams that we're talking about operate as if they're the Dodgers. Like, we can out-talent you. And you can't. So if it's going to be hitting, man, you better put all your eggs in hitting. If it's going to be pitching and defense, you better put all your eggs into that. But there's no identity with these teams. These teams try to go out and emulate these teams. The reason why the Yankees are successful, guess what? It's because the Yankees pitch. Pitch. They've always pitched, right? They've always done that. So when they lose Judge, when they lose Gleyber Torres or whomever I know he's not the Yankees, and when they lose Jazz Chisholm, when they have Devin Williams going through what he went through in the beginning of the season, it's not a domino effect. It's just like, okay, we're gonna plug in because this is what we do. And when you don't have an identity of what you do, then you have Cora at the stand saying, yeah, some days we hit, some days we pitch, some days we do this, and some days we, just don't do either of the three. And it's like, well, that's a team that lacks identity because there should be one constant in a good team. Whatever that constant is, it's for you to figure out, not me. Look at your spreadsheets.
All right. We played a game before, which was wildly popular. I think it went viral, and where we identified the face of every franchise, I think, right?
Yes.
All right. We're going to play a similar game. I just thought of it because that's how I do.
Yeah.
I'm going to go through each team. I'm going to ask you to describe them in one word.
Okay. Let's go.
You can't use fulcrum. You've already used that.
Okay.
All right. All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Yankees.
Consistently great.
All right. You can use 2 words. That's fine.
Okay. Great. Consistent.
Okay. Rays.
Scrappy.
Blue Jays.
Can't get right.
That's hyphenated.
Yeah.
Red Sox.
A mess.
Orioles.
Disappointing.
Tigers.
Man, I emergence, greatness, emergence of
Emerging.
Emerging.
Not emergency. That's a flu remedy.
Emergency. No, emergence.
Emerging. Guardians.
Yankee Central.
I don't know what that means.
They're consistent, man.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they're consistent.
Yankees Junior.
Yankees Junior. Yep.
Okay. Twins.
Pitch.
Pitch. Royals.
Bobby.
White Sox.
Skip.
Pope.
Oh, Pope. Yeah.
Mariners.
Pitching / defense.
Okay. Astros.
Altuve.
Angels. I know what you want to say.
Building.
Ooh.
Building.
Congratulations, Angels. All right. Rangers. Rangers, by the way, 26 and 29 as we tape this.
Listen, lack of offense. I mean, it's dead.
Dead. Speaking of which, A's. So sad.
It's sad, but they're competitive. So for me, on the come up. They're there.
On
They're
the
right
come. Yeah. All right. All right. Here we go. National League. Phillies.
Dogs.
All right. That's a good one. Mets.
Cats. No. No. You know what? Lindor.
Okay.
Lindor.
Braves.
World Series.
I was going to say champs.
Champs.
Nationals.
Man. Soto. Because they hit right on every freaking trade. Holy mackerel.
Yeah, but they're still like, there's.
I know. Well, James Wood. I'll say that. James Wood.
They're
No, you know what? Exit velocity. How about that?
All right. Nationals, exit velocity. They're the best. It's funny because people don't hate the Nationals, and they actually say, "Oh, here they come. They're going to be good," and yet they're still 5 games under 500.
I know. All I'm banking on is that they're young, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Marlins.
Skip.
It's like Schumacher.
Yeah.
All right. Cubs.
PCA, baby. That guy is look, if there's anybody that won on the Baseballs and Boring podcast, it's that guy.
He's been he has a Baseballs and Boring Japanese shirt.
Look, he has Harrison Bader's fashion, but with talent.
And the thing is that when I saw him first come up, he's not a big guy. That's the thing that's sort of striking about him is that you're okay, he's even Mookie. Mookie's sort of, he's not a big guy, but he's sort of, you can tell he's wiry, strong, and broad a little bit, and everything. But I don't know. Whatever, man. He's a good player. Cardinals.
Heim.
It's the Heim effect.
It's the Heim effect, man. Those guys are balling. Now Heim's gonna be stuck at another trade deadline again.
Brewers.
Indifferent.
Reds.
Francona.
That's it.
Look, I like those guys, man. I think they have a lot of talent on that team. Potential.
I think they're hovering around 500. I think because of Francona.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Even Hunter Green has taken a step forward. They've been great. Well,
all right,
great.
Pirates.
That one should be exit velocity. Because that's the only time I see him. 122.5 mile per hour fastball hit out of whatever the frick stadium at 195 miles per hour. O'Neal Cruz. Ooh. That's the only time I see them.
And when's the next time Skeens is going to pitch?
Yeah, Skeens.
Yeah.
Skeens.
Dodgers.
Blueprint.
Ooh. Good one. Giants, man, they got a good record.
They do. Defense.
Ooh, okay.
Adames.
Padres.
Winning dysfunction.
Okay. Diamondbacks.
Scary. Because they defend, like they're fast. I think once the teams get to like the middle part of the season, I think those teams, I think that their type of identity is going to wear down on guys.
Okay. Now, when I mentioned the Rockies, you better say this. You better say the right thing. Rockies.
Thomas Harding. Still,
well
executed champion of the world.
Well executed. All right. We solved a lot of the world's problems.